As an artist, you can get an idea for a story at any point in the day, whether you're on a walk, listening to the birds in the shower, on the toilet. You might be travelling on a bus or a train, and the scenery outside the window can be a stimulus. You can be sitting on a balcony on a fine afternoon, or you may be listening to some music and it can stimulate a story in your mind. It may not be a full-fledged concept, but it's just a fragment of a story ready to blossom, and it's those things that can stimulate the creative part of your brain and you'll think of an idea. But then there's a second process of taking that creative idea and turning it into a full story, and that is a completely different process that can be a lot harder. So how do you develop that little glimmer of an idea into a full story? Whether a novel or a fun little short story, there are 3 things that you need to do. As a quick side note, this video came from a viewer who wrote a very poetic article about how to turn an idea into a full plot. I said, oh, this is awesome, can I make a video of this? And they said, yeah, sure. So if you want me to steal your work as well, let me rephrase that. If you have any writing advice for all of the writers who are subscribed to this channel, write it in the comments. There's a good chance I'll probably make a video out of it. Back to the video. Part 1. Don't postpone. A new idea for a story is like the sun of the dawn or a full moon. It's alive and lively. You might get that spark of creativity to write a story, but you could just be busy. For example, I might say to myself, all right, Joe, just note it down somewhere, I'll come back to it later. But when you do come back to it, that idea is going to be dead. There may be the same words, but those words might not awaken the same interest in you as when you first thought of that idea. The creativity will be gone. So when you get that idea, start writing the story immediately. When you're inspired to write, that is when the creative part of your story will manifest. You will then form the rest of your story around those initial ideas that you wrote down during those first sparks of creativity. Part 2. Don't stop yourself from writing a story by getting bogged down with the technicalities such as story structure or the timeline. Don't waste precious inspiration on that sort of stuff. That doesn't mean you should throw them away if those ideas come to mind. Just be free. Whatever comes to you, write it down. And if you're really onto something, you'll be thinking of ideas faster than you can write. Oh, the antagonist can be his long-lost brother. The story will be set 100 years from now. There will be a side character called Bob. No, Jim. The character can be battling inner demons on his journey and must overcome them by the end of the story. Come on, Joe, keep up. You might want to draw a map of the city where they live. You might want to write the backstory or the end of the story or something in the middle. Don't stop yourself. Whatever comes to mind, jot it down. After you've got all of your initial ideas, you can then collect and sort all of those ideas together and you can form an outline. That's basically what an outline is. You're just sorting your story, all of your ideas in sequential order. Most of the time, this outline is going to be similar to other stories, but that's okay. At the core of it, stories are all structured in the same way, and that's why you can learn how to write a story. These are structures that stories follow. So don't let that demotivate you, because if you don't begin to write, you'll never find your own style. The style is the important part. How you tell your story, that's the unique bit. To put it simply, begin to structure your story. Once you have your initial ideas, don't wait. But where do you start? You start right at the beginning. Writing the start of a story is very overwhelming if you don't know where to begin. So I go over the hardest challenge that all writers face when writing the start of a story in the video linked below. It's a video I made for you if you are someone who finds writing the start of a story difficult. Before I say this last piece of advice, I just want to say a big thank you to the viewer who wrote in with these tips. You can check out their website linked below in the comments. So the last important piece of advice is very, very simple. Begin your story as soon as possible. Now! Start now! Start the story now! Right now! Give more time to it. Otherwise, that idea is going to be gone. Sounds hard, but honestly, just write something now. A sentence, a few sentences. I swear, you'll find yourself still writing an hour later. You'll be like, I can't stop writing. I got to do stuff, man. I got an exam tomorrow. But my character building is on point. Writing a story is one of the most wonderful things you can do for your mental health, and it's just fun as well. So the next time you have an idea for a story, don't hesitate. Get straight to it. Ooh! Time to get writing. I'm Joe Webb, a storyteller. Learn to write fiction properly.